Chapter 4. Miss Mackenzie hopped into a taxi, left the Seamount Hotel and headed back to her office. She had told her boss she would be there in about an hour. This estimate had overlooked a recent phenomenon, roadblocks. They were everywhere now. Motorists and pedestrians had to stop at them for inspection. Only after clearing them did the guards on duty swing the barriers out of the way and wave them on. 2 hours would have been a better estimate, she now thought. Her first stop came at arc number 22. A guard there ordered her to get out of a taxi and join a queue of pedestrians. This was a blessing in disguise. The requirements for the clearance of pedestrians were minimal. She sailed through them without difficulty. Not so lucky was her taxi driver, a youth made to seem older by his loosely fitting robes. He disappeared with his taxi behind a wall, where guards turned him upside down and shook loose change out of his loose robes first before they let him go. He emerged with a story to tell. Act number 22, lit bright by a blaze from a late morning sun, was shining with dazzling splendor. Designed to serve as a gateway to Banjul, the Gambia's capital, it was an arc, a colossal arc, high and wide. The phrase number 22 in its name referred to a date. On July 22, 1994, the legitimate and undisputed president of Gambia fell from power in a military coup. To celebrate this change in fortune, his successor, the architect of his fall, erected Arc number 22. Miss Mackenzie's driver finally resurfaced, wary and watchful. He was part of a growing African phenomenon. Taxi drivers with university degrees, whom the local job market had failed to absorb in professions that they had trained for. He located Miss Mackenzie without difficulty. "Miss Mackenzie, let's go," he said, motioning her back into his taxi. She got back in. "You were gone for 2 eternities, she complained. "Did you have any particular reason?" "Yes, those bullies," he said. "I take it you're referring to the guards. Why did they do?" "You mean, what did they not do?" He drove off on screaming tires. Essentially, they wanted something small. "Don't you mean a bribe?" "Why did they want a bribe?" "Miss Mackenzie, be serious." "I'm serious." "Then leave me alone." He gave the car more petrol. It threatened to fly. He gave it less. It slowed down. "Because my taxi has faulty brakes," they said. "Well, maybe it does." He braked to a screeching halt, which nearly threw her out of her seat. "So does it?" he asked her. "Have faulty brakes, I mean?" "I guess not," she conceded. "So what did you do? Give them something small anyway?" "Leave me alone," I said. He drove off again. "Anyway, in case you bribe them, know that giving bribes is as much a crime as taking them. Do you know what I'm going to do on my way back, Miss Mackenzie? I'm going to ask the guards I bribed to arrest me for bribing them." There's an anger in that sarcastic remark, she thought. She decided to leave him alone. By the time she reached her workplace, late morning clouds, sagging under the weight of imminent rain, were hanging low. So when she went to see her boss, he took her directly to the point. He said he was pulling her out of her assignment to the summit at the Pinnacle. He explained why. The leave on loan arrangement that she had applied for and that was due to begin the following week had begun on that day instead, he said. She was on a 2-year loan from the Gambian News to the Voice of America with immediate effect. It started to rain. There was a time when U.S. policy forbade the Voice of America to broadcast in America. Since other international media, such as the British Broadcasting Corporation, could broadcast in their home countries, this prohibition struck overseas audiences as odd. That image was bad for the VOA. It had to go. This was why the VOA was now doing things it could not have done before. Employing non-Americans in senior VOA positions was one of them. Miss Mackenzie, a Gambian, was joining the VOA bureau in Banjul in the wake of this change. Mr. Robert Manley, chief of bureau, met her at the main entrance, then led her up 2 flights of stairs. Trim and tanned, he looked even younger than his youthful 40 years. All the way up he walked at a zestful pace, as if he were daring her to raise him for a price he would specify later, and only if she won it. I'm afraid we are going to put you to work right away, Miss Mackenzie, he told her the moment they entered his office. We have a breaking story that can't wait. His every word had a humid flavor of mint. He preferred the scent of breath freshener, apparently. Take a seat. He motioned her to a chair on the near side of a rectangle conference table. Thank you, sir. She sat down. Now then. He sat beside her. The VOA thanks the Gambian News for agreeing to loan you to us, and thank you for accepting the terms of that arrangement. You see, a new VOA policy that requires field officers like us to use local professionals wherever conditions favor their use over that of Americans. Your presence enables us to say we have met that requirement, but we are not selfish, Miss Mackenzie. So we hope you, too, will like your stay with us. I will, sir. Sure? Positive. She meant it. As part of her leave-on-loan arrangement, the VOA would be paying her a salary totally dwarfing the 2 beams of Gambian News had been paying her. Mr. Manley, I know I will, she said. Then meet our new arrival from America. His name is Nicholas Sentinel. He gestured at a youth in army fatigues, rounded off the wire-rimmed Gandhi glasses. The youth was sitting on the far side of the table. This young man has just hit our shores. He'll be our communications technician in residence. The youth, 25 years old at the most, had been brooding quietly before this introduction. He continued to brood quietly even after. I'm Fiona Mackenzie, she said, stretching a hand towards him. But you can call me Fiona. Now the youth sprang into action. Goodness, did he spring into action? He scrambled to his feet and grabbed her hand from across the table. Pleased to meet you, Miss Mackenzie, he said. He was shaking her hand. Miss Manley says you are the best reporter in town. He was still shaking it. She had the youth's compliment. To relish it, inwardly, therefore completely, she pretended she did not. This was why she asked a totally unrelated question. So, Mr. Sentinel, when did you arrive in Gambia? Yesterday, the youth said. My word, you're a new arrival. Welcome to our country. Thank you. The youth let go of her hand finally and sat down. Mr. Manley resumed. Miss Mackenzie, a summit of Africa's heads of state will begin shortly at the Pinnacle Hotel, he told her. That is a breaking news story I mentioned a while ago. I know you are going to cover it for the Gambian News. Now, we want you to cover it for us, the VOA, instead. He looked at her. Why did we choose you? Well, we chose you basically for 2 reasons. First, your professional expertise, it will be needed. Second, your African background, it will come in handy. I'll do my best, sir, she said. If I may ask, what kind of VOA backup should I expect? This tub of a wardrobe on a whiff of methylated breath. Perhaps now it is time to bring Mr. Sentinel. He turned to the youth. Yes, jump in, cowboy. First, the youth craned his neck up, sticking it out like a rooster ready to crow. Next, he adjusted his Gandhi glasses around his ears. Then he clasped his hands together, and with them he still clasped, turned their palms out, in the process crackling his knuckles loudly, yet apparently without hurting himself. Now, at least, he could speak. Miss Mackenzie, I hope you don't mind my asking this. Did you study in Britain or something? I mean, gee, your accent. Yeah, Scotland. Edinburgh? She nodded. Good. All right, let's move on. You asked what kind of VOA backup you should expect. For sure. Expect all the help you need in my area. Wireless communications. You know what the term wireless communications means, don't you? No, tell me. It means all methods of non-wired message transmission, stuff like cell phones, or to you folks up here in a British heritage, mobile phones. He pronounced mobile in an American way, mobile. There are problems, of course, problems of semi-random log-normal shadowing. The youth was a jargon-spewing buffoon, she decided. And of what else? She asked, biting him. Well, and the whole 9 yards really, Miss Mackenzie. Are you with me? She nodded untruthfully. Then she lobbed back at her tormentor a one-size-fits-all kind question. Where is your niche in all of the wireless business, Mr. Sentinel? She asked. It's up there, the youth answered, pointing at the ceiling. He meant the sky. I monitor electronics transmissions. How do you do that? I use a real-time multi-phase mega-channel analyzer. The youth managed to say all that without choking. I call an analyzer the silent listener. Think of it as an infinite array of radios turned to all wavelength from 0 to all the way to infinity. This is so it can catch all air transmissions. So by working with this sweetheart, I can monitor zillions of aired messages daily. Mr. Laney cleared his throat, letting out another whiff of his scented breath. Don't feel you have to hold back anything, cowboy. Miss Mackenzie is one of us now. Tell her the transmission you monitor includes private dialogue. Well, yeah, but only on an intended bonus. Embarrassment had reddened the youth into a ripe tomato. She rubbed it in. Goodness me, you mean you've dropped on private conversations? What happened to privacy? She pronounced privacy in the British way. Privacy. Hey, protested the youth. I don't break into bedrooms, okay? All I do is harvest the sky. And I don't even actually do that. The silent listener does it for me. What has it done for you lately? She asked. Aha. Now, you want to hear my stuff. After all, what happened to privacy? Answer me, please, she told him. Has it harvested the sky for you? Look, I know from the word go that the summit at the pinnacle would have breaches of security. Gatherings like the summit always do. Therefore, as soon as I arrived yesterday, I set up the silent listener, then charged it with the task of watching out for those breaches, catching them as they came in and analyzing them for me after it had cut them. I asked it to start by taking note each time it had the word summit. You can already see the difficulty there, can't you? Summit is an English word, so equivalent words in other languages are going on to blow the unheard. And this was not the only problem either. In addition, there were speech recognition problems I had to get past just to make the silent listener hear the word summit to begin with. Well, I got past them. Another thing I had to do was ask silent listener to keep up a special ear open for all broadcasts with hints of actual breaches of security. Do not tell me this is tricky, because I already know. When can we say broadcast smack of actual breaches of security? And when can we not? Not easy, is it? In the end, what did I do? I made an assumption. All broadcasts that are in code, I said, are in code to hide actual breaches of security. But this assumption was not a much help, really. All it did was to replace one complicated riddle with another no less complicated. Because, let me tell you, codes can be tough nuts to crack. And in this approach, I had to crack them. You see, frankly, I did not want to go down the road. But I had to. To cut a long story short, what I ended up doing was to limit myself to simple codes known as disguises. What? Disguises? Yeah. They mask identity but not little else. Take a listen. The youth's voice rose to simulate an imaginary speaker. Gamma, this is Kappa. Do you copy? Over. The voice fell to simulate another speaker. Roger, Kappa, come in. Over. The voice rose again to mimic the first speaker. Beta has just landed, so cut Delta loose. Over and around. The youth shrugged. You know, simple stuff like that. Oh, and the final thing I did, I told silent listener to record all suspect broadcasts. Meaning what? Meaning communications with threat content. Even here, the silent listener was not up to the task catching all such communications. However, you will be amazed at how much it caught here. The youth reached for a device that, until then, had been squatting mutely near him at the conference table. He set it on and then keyed in it number. Miss Mackenzie, listen to this verbal trinket. He played. He pressed play. A female voice spoke. Dr. Afolabi, I have to go. Silly boss want me back at the office. Something has come up. Sorry. Miss Mackenzie was tongue-tied. When she could talk again, she said, "That was me," she confessed. Her eyes were filled with a child's amazement. Mr. Manley was watching her. "May I ask who Dr. Afolabi is?" he ventured. "A summit delegate I was interviewing for the Gambian news, sir." She turned to the youth. Nick, did you also record the interview itself? No. The silent listener caught the beat I have just replayed, only because you said it with your cell phone, still in transmission mode. Silly boss. We'll have heard that epitaph as well. She slapped herself on the brow for that indiscretion. I shouldn't have called him silly, huh? No, you should have. You shouldn't have. All right, now here another trinket. He keyed in some number, then played play. Again, this time, a male voice spoke. Excellent. Keep the phone on at all times, day and night, rain or shine. From now on, I'll be calling you often, even unexpectedly, but only through this number. So always have a mobile phone on. And like your hotel phone, it is completely secure, which means I can talk to you on it freely. Isn't that ironic? Asked the youth, smiling. The silent listener caught that bit of conversation because the speakers were using wireless cell phones, believing them to be more secure than the hotel's landline. In this case, the landline was in fact more secure than their cell phones. After all, that is ironic, isn't it? Yes, it is. Miss Mackenzie had new respect for the youth. She had just branded a buffoon. He keyed in a different number. Now, here this trinket subtracted from the same conversation. Another male voice spoke. Then why won't you tell me your real name? Miss Mackenzie. Keep that question in mind as you listen to the answer. The youth keyed in a previous number. The first male voice spoke again. I won't because our mission is still a delicate stage. For that reason, I'd rather you didn't know who I really am yet, until I tell you otherwise. Just call me a guide. Needless to say, I won't let you see my face either, but you will hear my voice. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me? The youth waved that question away and played 3 other excerpts from different but similar conversations. He then concluded, in short, we have a man talking to a total of 4 other men. He knows their names but will not tell them his. They should just call him the guide, he insists. You see, guide is his disguiser, a fake name, like Gum and Kappa. In the examples I gave earlier, he says he is talking in this nameless way because some mission is still at a delicate stage. Now, what mission is that? Mr. Manley cut the youth off. Let's stop there for the time being, cowboy. Then he looked at his watch. Goodness, I must run. I have a meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He rose. Cowboy, let's walk over new colleague to her office, shall we? They did. A few paces down the corridor later, Mr. Manley opened the door. Miss Mackenzie, meet your office, he said. I hope you like it. Wow, she did like it. Mr. Manley, it's lovely. Thank you. You're welcome, he said. Now listen, both of you. I'm giving you free rein. From here on, you're on your own. So get down to work now, will you? Then he turned to the youth. See you later, cowboy. Go give them hell, hotshot, answered the youth. He turned to Miss Mackenzie and promised. Next, promise me you won't let cowboy bully you, okay? Have a nice meeting at the ministry, Mr. Manley, she said. Dr. Afolabi had tossed in his bed sleeplessly for nearly an hour before he finally dozed off. Now, only minutes after the phone on his bedstead table was ringing, he answered it. Is that you, Dr. Afolabi? Asked a female voice on the line. He had heard the voice before, but he could not remember who it was. Who is this? Fiona, she said. Fiona Mackenzie. He had remembered her now. Do you know what time it is, Miss Mackenzie? He asked her. Anger was creeping in his tone. I'm in the reception hall, she said. Come. Score a point here, Abiola told himself. Make her wait. When he was satisfied he had kept her waiting long enough, he went down. She was not there. Had she left? Well, at least now he could truthfully say he had answered her call and come down. His conscience was clear. He turned around, ready to go back to his room. Suddenly, a piercing scream reached him from behind. A woman was crying. Help me, pleaded the woman. She was about 30 years old. Please help me. Dr. Afolabi saw why she needed help. A man was holding her carelessly by the waist. Hey, Joy. Hush, the man told her, giving her a rough squeeze. People are going to think I'm abducting you. At the front desk, the clerk on duty, completely unconcerned, had his eyes glued to a novel. For him, the man and the woman did not exist. Dr. Afolabi went and confronted him. Your guests are having a fight over there, he pointed. That's bad for the Simon's image, isn't it not? The clerk closed his novel on a finger, then looked at him. Sir, what do you want me to do? Go and pry them apart? He shook his head. No, sir. I'd lose my job in a second for ruffling their feathers if I did that. Though a Gambian, he spoke with a British accent. Sir, I have 5 children and a wife to feed, so I ask you, sir, why would I want to risk losing my job over those 2 strangers? He brought a cupped hand in his lips, a drinking gesture. Drunks, sir. They will be gone before you can ask where. Our pub has just closed, sir. Help, screamed the woman again. Someone help. Joy? I said, be quiet. The man told her. Didn't you hear me? He pulled one of her ears. Now you heard me, right? He hoisted her up in the air, and like a predator carrying away a prey, headed for the elevator. I don't know this man, the woman said, to one and all. He's abducting me. Her legs started kicking wildly, scissoring the air in frantic strokes. Then she tried to claw him in the face with her fingernails, but he ducked. Someone help me, she begged. Joy, what do you want to go trudging out into the cold at an ungodly hour like this? He asked her. When you can come to my room and roll in warmth all night. You like warmth, yes? Please. He will assault me. Assault her? Dr. Fulabi doubted that. Yet Africa is Africa, he said to himself. It comes at you from both directions, from back and from front, from right and from wrong. As if to confuse you. It always confronts you with both opposites on every side, good and evil, wealth and poverty, peace and war. Help, please help. She was crying with even greater desperation. Abiola, please help. Abiola, please help. The mention of his name took Dr. Fulabi by surprise. Miss Mackenzie, is that you? He asked. This close, he could see the woman was Miss Mackenzie. His anger at her now gone. He braved her abductor. You, that's enough, he told him. Put her down right now. The man turned around to face him. What did you just say? He asked. His face was a picture of disbelief. I didn't hear you. Are you man enough to repeat what you said? Yes, I told you to put her down. Oh, did you? All right, now, get this. My real name is Leo, but people prefer to call me Liberian Maula. So, if you know what is good for you, you'll scurry back to the hole you came from. Who are you anyway? Never mind who I am. Just put her down. Whatever you're selling, you can see she's not buying. Let's go, Leo. I promise I won't harm you, but only if you do as I say. The man put her down. Joy, please, step aside for a second, he said. A brush brat here is asking for it. His English, though fluent, had a sing-song wail to it. Just a second, Joy, okay? He looked at Dr. Fulabi. Little boy, did your mama tell you never to be rude to superiors? She forgot. No problem. I'll do it for her. He balled his hands into a fist, then punched the air in front of him experimentally. The result was satisfactory. Encouraged, he moved. Now close your eyes, little boy, because I'm coming to hit you, and it's going to hurt, he said, then charged. When he was close enough, he threw a punch. It grazed Abila's brow, scraping his face. The man stepped back to gather momentum for another blow. By then, Dr. Fulabi decided to defend himself. He planted himself in the boxer's stance and clenched his hand into rocks of human tissue. Then he waited. The man moved forward and unleashed an upward punch. Dr. Fulabi tossed him his chin back to avoid it, but left a leg in the way. The man missed. His momentum did not. Undiminished by the target he had not hit, it continued to propel him onwards. As he careened forwards, he ran into Dr. Fulabi's leg, now bent at the knee, which rose and hit him in the groin. He keeled over and fell. He did not rise again. The fight was over. The clerk at the front desk still had not moved. Here, Dr. Fulabi said, offering the man an arm to the woman he had just rescued. Come. She did not resist. The Liberian Mola had left her in a state of disarray. Hair stuck out from her head in tufts, as straw from a sloppy bird's nest. In this state, she simply could not have resisted. She followed him. Welcome, he said as he ushered her into his suite. Beyond that, I don't know what to tell you. He switched on a light. Bringing you here was the easy part. He switched more and more lights on. Now that you're here, what do I do? My, look at your face, she said. Did you know you have a scrape on it? I'll put something on it. Come on, it's nothing. Sit and relax, okay. She opened her handbag and dug out a few contents. I have all the tools I need, you see. She took out cotton wool and balled it with her fingers. First, we'll use cotton wool to scrub it clean with this. She showed him a tiny bottle containing a clear purplish liquid. It's my nail polish remover. and unscrapped the bottle, tipped it, and wet it part of the cotton ball with the liquid. Nail polish is mostly alcohol. Fully absorbed in her work now, she had forgotten all about the missing buttons on her dress. Alcohol dissolves that of other stuff. In this case, it will dissolve it off your scrape. Don't let it dissolve my face off as well, okay? I'll try and remember that. Will it sting? Yes, but only a little. Okay, now let's go. She went to work. Ouch. You said it won't sting. I said it would sting a little. She wiped the scrap dry with a fresh cotton ball, then put a small band-aid on it. Anyway, you're all patched up now. Good as new. She gathered her tools and put them in her handbag. So if you'll excuse me now, I'd like to go fix my dress. She took her handbag into the bathroom, then closed the door. I won't be long, she said. That might well have been his cue. He immediately killed all the lights in the suite except the one in the bedroom, stripped down to briefs, threw a spare blanket and a spare bed cover over a couch, then slid between the blankets and bed cover. The door to the bedroom opened. Fiona emerged and started walking, but stopped. Her eyes had not adjusted to the darkness in the living room. Where are you? She asked. Over here, he said. I've taken a couch in the living room. Go take the bed in the bedroom. You're acting as if you might have a wife, she said. Do you? No, she divorced me last year. Did she? Yes. Let's see you. Now, you studied in America at a marriageable age, so let me guess. Go ahead. She's an American. Who? Pamela? What's her name? Pamela? Yes, it is. And yes, she's American. Enough about me now. Let's turn to you. Shouldn't your name be Fiona Mackenzie? Who told you it might have changed? She started walking into the bedroom. Her eyes had adjusted to the only light. Why was the Liberian Mola calling you Joy instead? It's local slang for a streetwalker. He was calling you a streetwalker? Yes. Do you want me to draw a picture for you? Where are you from anyway? Mars? No, Nigeria. Married. Me? The phone rang. He rose and answered the landline by the couch. When he ended the call, his mood had darkened. What's the matter? She asked. You seem upset all of a sudden. Who was on the phone? One Chineke Chiamaka, he said. The man was claiming that I chided him for being drunk when all he had was a Pepsi. He wriggled in his improvised bed to protest his innocence against the claim. It beats me how he got my suite number in the first place, he added. Anyway, I did not chide him. Why do people like to tell lies? I'm not sure. Perhaps it's fun, she said. Lying is fun? I said I'm not sure. Now, you did a good turn for me downstairs. That says one good turn deserves another. So, in turn, can I tell you something I'm not yet sure I should tell you? Sure, go ahead. They have this youth in VOA. His name is Nick Sentinel. What does he do? He snoops on wireless transmissions with a machine he calls, wait for it, the silent listener. While I was there in the morning, while you were where? At VOA? Yesterday you said you work for Gambian News. Were you lying? After all, you've just said lying might be fun. Will you let me finish? No. Look, I really do work for the Gambian News. Skip the lies. You're a CIA agent, aren't you? I won't answer that. Because you are or because you can't. Neither. Isn't that exactly what you would say if you were? All right, I will answer. Try. Believe me, I'm a reporter of the Gambian News. Normally that is. But since right after our interview yesterday, I'm on loan to the VOA. If you must know, the VOA pays much better than the Gambian News. Will the VOA take me for keeps? No. When the loan ends, it will be thanks you very much, Miss Mackenzie, but please go back to the Gambian News tomorrow and start either eating boiled dirt for breakfast, lunch and supper again. Are you happy now, Dr. Folabi? He did not answer. Anyhow, to go back to what I was saying, you won't believe the amount of information this Nick Sentinel has gathered with his machine in just a day or two. He has caught on a compact disc he played back to me this morning, a man talking to four other men. Now, there is what makes this catch interesting. The man knows the other men's names, but for some strange reason, they don't know his. And he doesn't want them to know it. Dr. Folabi started paying her great attention. He feared the youth she had described might have uncovered him. To hide his alarm, he yawned. You're not interested in my story, are you? She asked him. Of course I am, he said. I just think I'll be more attentive tomorrow. Good night, Miss Mackenzie. Good night, Doctor Nafulabi.